Hey you guys, how you doing? Listen, I have a personal vendetta against the kingdom of darkness. I have some serious beef with them. I'm coming for their neck. I don't care how it looks, how I sound, how crazy I may come across. I don't care. It's something deeper than you guys will know. I have been attacked. My family has been under attack generation through generation. So my goal is to tear down the kingdom of darkness. I don't care if my life is on the line. God will protect me. But even if, guess what? I bear my cross. I put my life on this, period. That's how serious it is to me. So I would like to help others as well. The kingdom of darkness has his hands around a lot of people out there, has a tight grip on a lot of you guys. Some of you guys are clueless as to why your lives look the way it looks, as to why generation after generation you guys have succumbed to so much conflict, so much turmoil. The devil is a liar, an ugly one at that. Sorry. So I want to talk about this dream, guys. I previously said in my last video I would address covenants, altars. I made a community post as well discussing the topic. So I had a dream which caused me to seek the Lord on this yesterday. And it turned into hours of communication and the Lord downloading so much in my spirit. So getting into this dream, I had a dream. I was at an art gallery, specifically my father's art gallery. My father, he's an artist. He's also a music producer. He writes poetry. He's very gifted. He dedicated his entire life since he was a teenager to the Lord. He is an example of a man of God. I've never seen him waver a day in my life. He's not perfect, but he is one person I can say picked up his cross and he took it very seriously. I had a dream we were at his art gallery. I'm going to attach some of his artwork. All of his artwork is dedicated to Christ. So in the dream, we were showing all the visitors his artwork and discussing the story behind each piece. And it was time for everybody to leave. And so we asked everyone politely if they could exit the premises. And we thanked everybody for coming. And as I looked to my left, there was a woman standing there, and she had on this long trench coat and a hat and a ponytail. My dad was no longer there. You know how dreams are. It was just the woman and I standing in the room, and I said, "Excuse me, I'm so sorry, but you have to leave. We're closing the art gallery. Thank you for coming, but you have to leave." She didn't say anything, and she looked up at me. And she gave me this look. And I knew right then and there I was in trouble. I knew it was time to fight. Instantly, I ran as fast as I could. The art pieces were gone. It was a room full of altars. Altars. And I ran. I felt her behind me. I ran to each altar. It was like a pyramid, like an Egyptian pyramid. And on top of each pyramid was a fire. And each altar I went to, I had to get to the fire and put it out. I had to put it out. And this woman behind me would constantly try to grab me and throw me off of each altar to stop me from coming against, canceling and binding and destroying these covenants that were made. These altars represented the covenants that were made in my family's bloodline. I knew I had to get to each one and destroy them, or the family would be in trouble. That spirit and I was in battle big time. I was in the fight of my life. And I recall dismantling the majority of the altars, but I remember there was like 2 or 3 left and I didn't get to it. I woke up. I instantly prayed. I wept. Please know, when you guys hear about these altars that are made with your name on it, your parents' name, your grandmother's, your great-grandmother's, generation through generation, you hear people talking about these altars, these covenants, and you just think, sounds interesting, but I don't know if I really received that. I had the chance to see the altars that were made in the spiritual realm. I was able to see the altars that were made in my bloodline. I was able to see the covenants that destroyed our family generation through generation. Some of these covenants go back decades ago. Man, I knew that these were some hardcore sealed covenants, and I knew I was coming against the kingdom of darkness in a way nobody in my family has ever done before. I knew I was being targeted, and it just so happens I received this dream at a time I was in some serious battle. I was fasting, I was praying, and this is around the time I learned about breaking covenants and coming against any demonic agreements made in the family line. At this time, I was fasting, and man, I was going in battle, and I was able to see one of the spirits I actually was battling in the spiritual realm, and I was able to see the battle take place in the spiritual realm. So guys, when you hear about these things, think it not strange. These things are real. Let me tell you how you come into agreement, willingly, unwillingly, how you can inherit these things. But a lot of times, if it's not you, if maybe it's your ancestors, the enemy likes to get us in desperation. They like to dangle stake in front of our eyes, and in turn causes us to make these agreements and covenants to our detriment. A lot of us don't know the ramifications of what comes with doing this. But the kingdom of darkness, they want to trick you. They will make you feel as though you're blessed. You're being blessed with an opportunity, a chance of a lifetime, right? They'll satisfy your fleshly desires, making you feel you're on the right path because you see, the fruit of what is coming out of this agreement that you're making with the kingdom of darkness. And this is to get you to come into agreement with them, thus forging a covenant. Spirits are nothing to play with, guys. These demonic spirits are nothing to toy with. They are not coming around to play footsie with you and encounter you for a few days, a few months, and then just move on about their merry way. They are seeking covenants. They will not leave until they have created a covenant. Even if you die, I'm sorry, I have to keep it real. If you die, if you move on, they like to create these covenants because if you die, the covenant still stands. By spiritual law, they have the right to infiltrate your bloodline. And God is no respecter of man. He gave us all laws to follow. And if you disobey and you don't follow his laws, you have forced the Lord out by allowing the enemy in. You can't serve two masters, Matthew 6, verse 24. Before the blessings come, these covenants must be broken. A lot of you have been promised things. There are promises made by God to a lot of you guys generations and generations ago. There are promises that were supposed to be fulfilled that has been postponed because of the enemy. Hosea 4 verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. We cannot avoid the Lord's laws, guys. We cannot avoid the hard truth. The truth is, a lot of us do have these promises. A lot of us have these promises. God wants to give you so much, and he has given you dreams of what he has for you. The truth of the matter is, nothing can take that. But the enemy will try to infiltrate it and steal it and postpone it. And just do not fall into the temptations and the lies of the enemy. Deal with them like a shark in the ocean, okay? If somebody is in your life right now and you know that God did not send them, and you know good and well they are from the kingdom of darkness, don't be polite with them. This is not the time for politeness. This is the time for removal. God is calling a lot of you to remove the enemy and see things for what they truly are, to end patterns, to end cycles. A lot of you guys have generational afflictions, and I myself, I have witnessed it. Like I said in a previous video, generation after generation of divorce and the same afflictions. The men in my family, the same afflictions. It's just, God has called me to identify these things. One thing about my family on that side, and I am not speaking ill on them, I just realized they're not even aware of what's going on. They speak about it vaguely, but it's just like they're not able to spiritually comprehend the seriousness of it. God has called me to come against these things. I have been called to fight for my bloodline. I've received confirmation of that. I'm blessed and honored. I feel honored that God called me to do so. So it's not my job to constantly nag them to see these things, because God did not call them. He called me. So my job is to go to war in the spirit. And that's what I've been doing. A lot of you women and men, you have the same calling on your life. I feel the majority of my followers have this call. It's an honor. Y'all are dope. God chose y'all to come against these things. And through God's strength, we're going to do it, y'all. Stay faithful. Be blessed.